Mr. Lincoln, you about ready to put us on record?
All right, we're back on record. The next item for the board's consideration is an application filed by Ms. Candace L. Cronister for a private club permit. This is a new private club application filed on behalf of Ruby Tuesday, 2915 Kazi Street. Is that correct? Kazi? Kazi. This is in Jonesboro. The application was refused on the 16th of August 2007 by the director, as there was objection from the sheriff, county judge, prosecuting attorney, and also from some area residents in Craighead County. Let the record reflect that the applicant, Candace Cronister, is present for today's hearing. Let the record further reflect that Ms. Cronister is represented by her attorney, Mr. Jim Clark. Let the record reflect that there are also a number of persons here that are in opposition to the application.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Counselor, if you, and are you going to coordinate, Mr. Jacobson?
Best I can, sir.
Okay, if you will identify, please, and have stand up people that might be called to testify, we will swear them in at this time, okay?
Chairman, it's Candace Cronister
Right.
and Jenny Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell, Reverend Jacobson.
Bob Hester.
Okay, please raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear to affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. For those of you that haven't been with us before, the way this works is the person who is applying for the permit gets to go first and basically describe what they're trying to do, the who's, what, why, when, and where of the permit. Then when they get through with that, or they call various witnesses, the opposition will be able to question them or question the witnesses. Then we just simply reverse the field, happens again, and then at that point in time, we will take we'll have summaries from both sides, and then we will take a public vote. As I have explained to some of you before, we're one stop on this railroad. You can appeal your decisions to circuit court and up on to the appellate court if you feel so agreed. So that's the way this works. We would ask everybody that is not testifying to, please keep your comments, cheers or boos to yourself, and we'll continue on down the line here. So with that, Ms. Cronister, if you and your attorney would like to open this up by telling us what you're trying to do.
If I could, Candace, please state your name to the board.
Candace Cronister.
Are you employed as the general manager of the RT Jonesboro Club and in Jonesboro?
Yes.
Could you advise the board, say for the past 5 years, what your employment has been, who you work for?
I have worked for Ruby Tuesday for 6.5 years throughout college, starting as a server. I had an internship with the Jonesboro Police Department, went on to start in the Memphis Police Academy, whereas I was recruited by Ruby Tuesday for management. Also during college, I worked for three different positions office, completing medical records and as a secretary at the front desk.
As you're now employed by RT Jonesboro Club, Inc. Is that
Yes.
correct? Did you attend the seminar conducted by Mr. Don Bennett of the ABC, whereby you were instructed on the laws and regulations that apply to dispensing alcohol therapy?
Yes, I did.
All right. In the event the board comes to a conclusion to grant you an alcohol therapy permit in a private club, do you intend to operate the private club in a manner that is in full compliance with the regulations of the ABC as well as the statutes of the state of Arkansas?
Yes, I did.
Have any of the businesses or the neighbors that are located adjacent to your location, which Mr. Luke indicated was on Kazi Street in Jonesboro, have they indicated to you their objections to this board granting you an application if the board sees fit?
No.
All right. Is one of the nonprofit, but not the only nonprofit purpose that you have for a private club, is casual dining and social interaction with club members?
Yes.
So the board would understand that. How many will the private club seat?
229.
is the entire premises of the private, is the entire premises of your building, is it a private club?
Yes.
You do not have a public side and a private side.
No.
Would it be correct to say that anyone that decides that they want to partake of anything that's offered by the private club, they have to be a member or a guest of the member?
Yes.
That includes, if I wanted to go in there and say, I just wanted to eat, I still would have to be a member.
You would have to get
How many people are presently employed by the private club?
47.
All right. Do all of those employees live in Jonesboro or Shannon?
Yes.
What are the hours of operation of the private club?
Monday through Thursday, 10:45 to 11 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 10:45 to 12 a.m. and Sunday, 10:45 to 10 a.m.
Now, how many parking spaces do you have available on your premises for parking of cars?
102.
All right. Do you foresee a time at which the number of parking spaces will not be sufficient for your members and guests?
No, I do not.
If that event occurred, where would you park cars?
We would be allowed to use the hotel parking spaces.
Now, are there hotels located adjacent to you?
Yes, sir.
And you have an arrangement with the hotel, is it correct that you have an arrangement with the hotel that in the event such an event was to happen, they could park in the hotel parking space?
Yes, sir.
All right. Besides this nonprofit purpose, would you please, in detail, I would like for you in detail to advise this board of the other nonprofit purposes of this organization. And I would like in detail what they are, what you've done, where the funds will come from, everything that you can tell this board.
Okay. As most recently sponsored a first responders tournament, which was for the Jonesboro Police Department, Fire Department, and emergency personnel, where they raised money which benefited Camp Sunshine from the Arkansas Children's Hospital. It is a camp where burn victims get to go for a week and with the fire department's help participate in things such as fishing and different activities where kids can be kids without their disability. We put up all the money so they were able to make pure profit for that. We also have done a Fox Meadow Elementary School where we sponsor a Respectful Raiders program where at the end of each month, every teacher nominates a student in their class that was shown to display respect. It affects 8 first graders, 6 second graders, 6 third graders, and 2 special education classes. And those students get to eat lunch with the principal and assistant principal at the end of every month in the conference room, and we provide the lunch throughout the year. We also have participated in the Consolidated Youth Services, which is a program for disadvantaged students or children who have gotten in trouble with their annual picnic. We have provided several different things as far as the gift cards to picnics for a plant outside of Jonesboro. We have 3 years running offered things for Blessed Sacrament for their fall festival. We have Methodist Church as well, College of Business, ASU Athletics.
And where does the money come from that supports this organization?
We have designated the $5 membership to solely go towards our charitable efforts. Depending upon business, we intend to, decide at that time, hopefully to do more for surrounding.
You're gonna add the whatever the membership cost is, you're gonna add that to what you're doing now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's I want to make sure the board understands, it's not just a $5 fee for membership, it's a $5 annual.
Yes, annual membership.
And you had indicated that depending upon how the nonprofit club operates and whether there are sufficient funds after paying expenses and that other funds may be used for these nonprofit clubs.
I've contacted a couple of other charities to see what was available, such as the Northeast Arkansas Food Bank, the Toys for Tot program with the Jonesboro Police Department, and the local autism group.
In our entertainment sheet that we filed with the board here, you indicated that a couple of these are sponsored by the Jonesboro Fire Department, and one of them is by the Jonesboro Police Department. Are the people at the police department and fire department aware of these services? What is their reaction?
Yes, the Jonesboro Fire Department actually presented us with a plaque. Jonesboro Fire Department presented us with a plaque about 2 weeks ago in their appreciation, and they expressed sincere gratitude.
And since no one at the police department, the fire department, have objected to y'all's participation in this work.
Not to myself.
Is it, we don't have any, and I haven't got the file yet, we don't have any objections from Jonesboro city officials?
I have none, Mr. Chairman.
What about the sheriff? and the
Well,
county
I'm talking about city officials, the sheriff, I know that there's a couple of county ones, but I haven't seen anything yet on city officials at all weighing in.
The only thing, Mr. Chairman, that I've seen in the file regarding the city official was the letter that, that Councilwoman Judy Furr, submitted to the ABC in response to Mr. Hester's request.
Well, we'll look at that when it comes to
That's the only thing I know about it.
Okay.
All right. So
I'd like to know a little bit too about the surrounding area. I know Jonesboro, I've been in and out of there, and I think I know where your place is, but talk about the surrounding businesses and what have you, things that are around you.
Okay, directly in front of us is the interstate. To the right is Shogun's Restaurant. To the left is the Baymont Inn. Directly behind us is Quality Inn Suites. We're at the very end of a street surrounded by hotels.
I know where you're at now. I haven't been in your establishment, but I have stayed at Baymont when I was up in Jonesboro.
Directly.
Yeah.
The Holiday Inns.
It's a whole strip of hotels and little
It's visual.
restaurants.
The Holiday Inn, I cannot see it from my restaurant. It's down further. Holiday Inn Express is closer.
You know where the old Holiday Inn is there.
That's at the very end
Yeah.
of the street, Phillips Drive. We're off of Phillips Drive.
does the restaurant that you indicate adjacent to your nonprofit private club, does it have a permit?
No.
Now, what are the three hotels that are located near you or two hotels?
The one directly beside us is Baymont Inn, and directly behind us is Quality Inn.
To your knowledge, do either of those hotels have private club alcohol beverage permit?
No.
Is there any, have any of the guests of the hotels ever come to your establishment to dine?
Daily.
Do any of them ever express any desire for your location to have a alcohol beverage permit?
Daily.
All right. Are there any churches or schools located near your private club?
No, sir.
I mean, what do you think is the closest school?
I'm going to say Fox Meadow, and I'm going to say, I'm not that great at geography, I'm going to say it's over 6 to 7 miles away.
All right. Are there any traffic problems in the area of your private club?
No, sir.
You don't notice that your operation has caused any problems back up? Is there adequate entrances and exits from your private club?
Yes.
Considering that you're located adjacent to hotels that may have a great many guests from out of town, visiting Jonesboro, whether it's for business, convention, entertainment, or attending sporting events, do you believe your operation of a private club and an alcoholic beverage permit promotes hospitality purposes?
Yes.
You do, all right? Are the guests of adjacent hotels, are they within walking distance?
Absolutely.
So you would not have to drive from the hotel to become a member. And if someone wanted to become a member and avail itself of the private club, then they can just walk over.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that the other nonprofit purposes that you established, which were, as we went over the various items, supporting the various things that you've done, sponsorship of the softball tournament, Jonesboro Fire Department, Toys for Tots, the youth services, anything other, do you believe those purposes that you described to the board are a benefit to the citizens and residents of Jonesboro, Grayson County, including the children, and are in the public convenience and interest of the city and county?
Yes, I do.
All right. Would you explain to the chairman and other board members how you intend to operate the private club? If I was to walk in the front door of your establishment and I wanted to become a member
application and fill out a membership form. Upon the instance that I would not be in the building, our board of directors has allowed assistant managers to approve the membership application. You would have to become a member, and no one is not in the restaurant unless they're a member or a member of the guest.
Or guest?
A guest of
And what are the annual dues?
$5
Where's the guest book?
at the front door.
Will you require parties that come in to check in and sign into the guest book?
Yes, they will have a member identification number.
Is all of the funds that are generated by this nonprofit corporation, are they the club's revenue?
Yes, sir.
They all belong to the nonprofit corporation?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are the financial books and records of the club kept in Jonesboro?
Yes, sir.
All right. And talking about the nonprofit organization that you supported, I want to hand this to you, and I will give a copy to each of the board members, and ask you to identify what I have handed to you. And
Thank you.
Yeah, if you've got an extra copy, get it up
I've got it. here. Could you advise the board exactly who the letters are from and what are the purposes of the letter?
The first one is from Consolidated Youth Services. This is gratitude for their annual picnic. The second is on behalf of the Cherokee District Jonesboro Cub Scouts. They camp at Cricket Forest. We provided cookies for them. The Wesley Foundation had a treasure hunt for students at ASU campus when they came back to school. Cornerstone United Methodist Church had a country fair. Then next is from the Jonesboro Fire Department, speaking of the tournament that we had. And final is from the College of Business at ASU. They had a scholarship gala where they wrapped it all up.
Let me ask you a question. Being a Methodist myself, I noticed you're donating to the Wesley Foundation and some other things here. Has anybody contacted you? Obviously, you've done your homework on the charities that you are involved with, more so than a lot. But has anybody contacted you in regard to the fact that if you do become a full-fledged private club serving alcohol, that they're no longer going to accept or want to be a part of any of your charitable works?
None of these organizations have expressed that they would not, and it is in our window, since the time, stating that we have applied for a private club permit. And I've had one pastor came in on a Sunday and said that he would not be able to come back. But other than that, not someone that I've donated to.
Okay. Thank you.
I would like to introduce you to evidence to Mr. Chairman, of this letter that we have submitted, and I guess this.
The applicant's number one.
The next thing I would like to cover with you, Mr. Lancer, is after this, that the private club have a program for training employees whose duties are either mixing or dispensing of alcoholic beverages.
Yes, we take it very seriously.
All right. Has the club adopted the training program that was established by those facilities that are owned and operated by the groups?
Yes, we have.
All right. I would like to hand you this, and I would like to hand a copy to. And could you explain to the board exactly what the training program is in detail? Say, for example, I walk in and I wanted to be employed as someone that either handled, dispensed, mixed, something to do with alcoholic beverages. What is the training program that y'all have in place?
Absolutely. Upon day one orientation, they are to view a responsible serving video and take a test, which I believe will be at the back of your packet, called an alcohol awareness test. This test has to pass with 100% on day one. Moving forward after that, the document you have at the very beginning is the responsible alcohol service. And it states at the very top that we take irresponsible alcohol service very serious with dire consequences for our guests, our team, and our community. We're genuinely concerned, so we start off talking to them about facts regarding alcohol and the seriousness that it can have. We talk about reasonable efforts as far as providing responsible drinking environment. We go over the definition of illegally furnishing intoxicating beverages to guests. We go on to talk about blood alcohol content, what it is and how it affects, and understanding the rate of consumption and intoxication of their guests. We talk about absorption rate factors, gender, weight, drug use, mood, strength of drink, rate of consumption. Throughout, we talk about signs of intoxication, especially the visual signs that we can look for within the restaurant, and what to do if they see those signs. We talk about the legal drinking age and verification of acceptable forms of ID, what is acceptable, what is not. Every guest should provide acceptable ID. We talk about tips for checking ID, so they're not just glancing at the ID. We go over how to ask for identification. We even provide some openers for them in case they're uncomfortable and make sure they are comfortable. We talk about the steps of refusing alcohol service, notifying the manager what to do, how to do it. We go through examples of what to say when service is refused. And then we also provide documenting all alcohol-related incidents. We have to keep on site every instance where alcohol is refused. It must be documented who it was, what happened, where the incident occurred, what time of day it was, why we think the incident occurred, any witnesses, and we attach their guest check to keep it on the file at the restaurant. Like I said, it's very extensive throughout their training, but number one is the alcohol awareness test on day one.
Now, what is the policy of the private club in the event an employee dispenses liquor to a minor
They would be terminated.
on first offense?
Yes, sir.
Could you have any knowledge of the, say, the two private clubs that are located and that exist in Jonesboro that are the closest to this location of the RT Jonesboro Club in Mississippi?
The 501 and the Electric Cavalry.
Okay. Can you tell the board how you think the 501 Club is different than the Route 2 Club?
Well, I believe number one, their charitable efforts are different than ours. Number two, their pricing structure is significantly higher than ours. So I believe that they attracted different guests than what we do. And then the Electric Cavalry is a dance club where they provide music and dancing and operates, I believe, 2 a.m. in the morning.
Do they serve meals there?
It is to my knowledge that their kitchen's only open on Tuesday. That, as far as I know.
How far are each of these clubs from the Route 2?
2/10 of a mile.
All right. And would you state that it's your opinion that your club, because of its pricing policies, would offer a less expensive dining, less expensive meals for its members and guests
Yes.
than the 501?
In comparison to others.
I would now like to hand you a group of letters. And can you, let me pass this out. This is-
Mr. Cronister, y'all a member of the Arkansas Hospitality Association? You're aware of their alcohol program?
Yes.
We'll mark these as,
I've got the original here.
three, that's okay.
You don't want the original?
We'll take it. Number three, emphasis number three.
The first one is from the Jonesboro Regional Chamber of Commerce, acknowledging their support. We followed by Joe Young. He is president of Young Investment Company in Jonesboro. Then we have T. Benton Smith support as a businessman and a political leader from Jonesboro, followed by Terry Garahan from Jonesboro, followed by a licensed psychologist in Jonesboro, Susan Gibbard. We have Brian Fulkerson from Asphalt Incorporated. Trinity Lining Incorporated, Doug Falls. We also have Lisa Godsey, co-owner of Godsey's Catering in Jonesboro. We have Joe Harlan, followed by Mike Childs of Remax Real Estate Leaders. Ellen Gray Hurt, co-owner of Godsey's Catering. And we have Jay House, an insurance agent of Allstate.
Ms. Munster, all of these letters are in support of the application of you and the nonprofit private club in Jonesboro.
Yes.
And Ms. Luton has entered those letters. Okay. Have you had the opportunity, since filing the application, to solicit any support by having individuals that wanted to support your application to sign a petition?
We have provided a petition at the front door, yes.
Okay. I would like to ask you to identify this.
These are the signatures, totaling 1,219.
And talking with Mr. Lucan, I asked him whether or not I needed to provide a full set for each one. He suggested that I copy 6 or 8 pages to show you the form that it was, and that's what I intend to do, although the full 1,200 signatures will be, and I've asked that they be introduced into that.
Say again how these were gathered.
These were at our front door, support petitions.
I'm assuming some of these people are from areas other than Jonesboro as well, and just folks that came in.
I believe so. We did ask for the top that they be residents of Jonesboro and surrounding area.
Okay.
I think there are a few, as you look through, that may, Manila, which is a close community. There's a Brooklyn, which is a close community as well.
But would it be correct in saying that you contemplate that other people that just lived in the city of Jonesboro may desire to become a member of the nonprofit club?
Oh, yes, yes.
Original Mr. Lucan.
You mark this, that is number 4.
Petition. Check my list, Mr. Chairman. Just trying to cover what I thought I wanted to cover with you today.
Well, we'll have time to ensure that everything gets put in the record
All right.
too, depending on what you got.
I have no further questions of this witness.
Do y'all have any other witnesses that you're going to call?
We have one more witness.
Okay,
It
well,
will
let's
take
do-
about 2 minutes.
Let's do this first. At this point in time, then Mr. Jacobson will, as the coordinator for the opposition, will be able to ask your
Correct.
client any questions that he has, and then he'll be able to present his case here a little bit.
Ms. Chronister, nice to see you. I will say that I have enjoyed the times that I've eaten at Tuesday. One of the things that I like the most on your menu is that it counts carbohydrates. And there are those of us who have to watch that sort of thing.
We do provide smart eating.
I will point out, though, that I will also be among those who will not be dining with you anymore if this is granted. How long did you say you've been with Ruby Tuesday?
I have been with Ruby Tuesdays for 6.5 years. I opened the restaurant as a server.
And you're currently
The general manager.
general manager. Let me ask you, you're an Arkansas State graduate?
Yes, I am.
What type of degree did you?
I had a bachelor's for psychology and a minor in criminology.
Okay, so you didn't specifically then take a business program or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay, let me ask you this. You've already had at least one pastor who's publicly said that if you get this permit, he will not be able to eat there anymore.
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar at all with the general breakdown of the community as far as those who are pro-alcohol and those who are anti-alcohol? Based on past
Based upon
elections,
being a resident, yes, sir.
based on past elections, would it be safe to say that it is at least 50% plus one that are opposed to alcohol since it's been consistently voted as a dry county?
In the vote for wet versus dry.
Do you think, as a management level person in Ruby Tuesday, that it is a good business practice then to antagonize and eliminate at least half the population of the city in which you're doing business as potential customers?
I believe that we've always put our guests first. Like I said, we have been in Jonesboro for 6.5 years and have gone with the guest's opinion. I also believe it's good practice to provide charitable efforts to the community in which you belong, which being a nonprofit organization allow us to do more of.
Let me deal with that as well. You've listed for us the nonprofit activities that Ruby Tuesday has been involved in, and I'm familiar with a number of them. They are very good. They seem to be, for the most part, special event type of nonprofit activities.
We like to have a large impact, and we have several small ones that we do on a daily basis with the gift cards. Large impact, I'm not exactly sure. I think that any impact is a good impact. I don't know.
But you don't have an ongoing, for example, an ongoing nonprofit setup.
The Respectful Graders program is throughout the entire school year. I mean, we do that every month.
What percentage of your nonprofit, what percentage of the income that you get that goes to the nonprofit agency would be invested on an ongoing basis?
As far as percentage, I don't know. We have vested, or we have said that the entire $5 membership, and then granted from there, we would make the decision to do more.
Would you say that, as of this point, that most of the nonprofit activities that you're going to be involved in are ones that you've already been involved in prior to receiving a permit?
No, I also named several that I've contacted in hopes that we can, what they have available for us to do more, such as the North Arkansas Food District Bank and the local autism group.
Okay. I noticed on your letters now, the letters from the businesses in support of the, rather not the businesses, the charities in support. None of them, of course, dealt with whether or not they would, in fact, continue to be involved if you got a permit.
No, sir.
All right. And as far as the letters from the Chamber of Commerce, the other businesses, I would like to call it to the board's attention once again that the Chamber of Commerce never, in their letters, ever takes a position on the alcohol permit. They always take a position in support of the establishment. And I see they've done that again. And then there is a letter from Mr. I guess it's Terry Guerin. He says that I believe that granting the license would place Ruby Tuesdays on an equal playing field with their competition. And I would remind the board that that's not something that falls under your discretionary purview. Let me ask you this. If half of Craighead County, Jonesboro area, decides that they will no longer patronize Ruby Tuesdays, have you looked at how that will affect your profit and loss and ability to be involved in nonprofit activities?
No, sir, not if they have decided not to. I mean, as far as not moving forward with this today, we have looked at the fact that our charitable efforts would be significantly decreased and our hands would not, we would not be allowed to do as much as we would like to.
But there really has been no survey, no checking in any way to see whether this will have an adverse effect on your business.
Made by the board, not by myself, no, sir.
You said that the closest school to your restaurant is Fox Meadow, is that correct?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, sir.
Are you aware of where the Nettleton schools are located?
Yes, I would assume they're further than Fox Meadow.
I suspect that if you check that, you might find they're probably about a mile or two from where your restaurant is located.
Across the street.
Let me ask a question too. Have y'all given any thought to, and I know maybe you can do it based on your current business flow. Have you got any idea about how many, or given some thought to how many people may join this club? Have y'all looked at those numbers yet?
We do have currently, I think, 127 members.
Yeah.
Like that have
Well, obviously, you're gonna have, if this permit were to be granted, you're gonna have a whole lot more. We got ones in Conway that now have 20,000 members that have gone off board, and,
I mean, I can tell you approximately how many guests we see a week, but as far as.
yeah, what's your guess?
We see anywhere from 2,200 to upwards of 3,200 guests per week, depending upon the time.
And what Reverend Jacobson seems to be saying is that, you know, he thinks there's a substantial possibility for that to fall off if a lot of people don't come in. And have y'all given that plenty of thought?
I mean, it's definitely been something that's in our mind as far as getting an exact number. I mean, you know, we realize there are going to be people who choose not to dine with us, but they are going to choose that on a daily basis either way. I mean,
But based on y'all's thinking at this time, and it's, you know, you have the right to make that as a business decision.
absolutely.
Y'all feel this is best for you.
Yes, yes, we do.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, Ms. Bronster. You have shown us this training program.
Yes,
Have you been through the training program?
yes, sir.
Okay. Suppose you had a group of businessmen who came into your restaurant and were sitting at a table in the back and enjoying themselves and laughing and carrying on and telling loud jokes and loud stories. How would you be able to tell whether they were simply having a good time or whether they were becoming under the influence and should be refused service?
Well, first of all, the businessman would have to be a member, and upon that, we would know who they are. Secondly, we have the ability to know how many drinks we served. And so that would be our number one indicator.
Well, now, if you had a group from the hotel, for example, who were in town for a convention, who came over and joined your private club and they went to eat, you would not know who they are, would you?
They would have to be a member, they would have to fill out a form. Yes.
But that doesn't tell you much about them, or you certainly wouldn't know them well enough to know if they were responsible people or to know if they had been somewhere outside the county and been drinking
Now,
before
we
they
would
got
have
there.
we would have visual effects, which I think we go over in our training what to look for.
But you did say that you would know them. And the point I'm making is, if they're just guests at a hotel in town for a convention, you really wouldn't know them other than what they put down on the application
We would
for
have the
membership.
application on file.
But again, that doesn't tell you much about who they are, does it?
No, sir.
Anything else? All right, sir, what else have you got to
I
add?
think
And we'll let you-
I got a couple.
Yes.
We've got some more questions.
First of all, I didn't catch the hours that you're talking about. Monday through Thursday, 10:45,
To 11 p.m.,
and then Friday, Saturday.
10:45 to 12 a.m., and Sunday, 10:45 to 10 p.m.
All right, and that's Friday and Saturday to 12.
Yes.
All right. I hadn't heard too much about the type of meat. What kind of meals do
We have a variety from burgers to steaks to ribs to several
Got a
chicken.
I believe we got a menu out of it. Ellis,
I brought it just in case.
just in case that question was
This is
asked.
standard Reuben Tuesday type.
Well, I've eaten
Yes,
Reuben
sir.
Tuesdays, not this one.
And one other question, Reverend was asking about losing business. Is there a possibility by serving alcohol you could gain?
I assume it could go either way.
It
Yes,
could
sir.
go either way, right? I would think so.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, we would like to introduce the menu into evidence.
Mr. Chairman, if Norman Swanson is still here, if I could ask just another
Sure,
question.
hang on just a
Sure.
second. Let's see if we've got any other board questions.
I do. Ms. Foster, you mentioned that your membership fee is $5.
Annually, yes, sir.
Well, it's an annual fee.
Yes, sir.
So every 12 months.
Yes, sir.
How are you gonna keep up with that?
It is filed by month in the membership directory, and every month we come through who needs to be renewed.
Are you sure you wanna do that?
I think that it is good practice to be organized.
She is committed to do that.
Yes.
Well, I have some personal knowledge of certainly how that works. My sister, who lives in Conway, is a member of Mike's Place. And I joined her for dinner the other night, and we started to go in. Her membership had expired. They pulled her up in the computer. Her membership had expired and I ended up having to pay for a membership. And so,
Oh,
I
the
just gave,
difficulties that you go
gave
through.
them the money. It was tough. It was tough. But they pulled her up actually on a computer. Is that the way you're going to do this?
We had explored that option, yes.
Well, I would highly advise you to look at that because that will immediately let you know, if you're granted a permit, that'll let you know if somebody has expired. And you don't want people in there with,
No.
that are expired.
No,
That's
sir.
law.
No, sir.
So you're aware that this is approved today, and you do this annual membership, and one of your regular customers who's there every Tuesday, and that person comes in, is not a member, that person, and his membership is expired, that person eats that day, has a beer, that you're in violation, and that you can be back down here.
If the agents spot one of those, you
Absolutely, yes, sir, I'm aware.
She doesn't intend to let that happen.
Okay, I believe Reverend Jacobson had another
Yeah, just
question.
a couple of questions quickly. How many customers did you say you serve per day? Did you reckon down per day?
Per day,
Guys, usually shorter takes than usual.
Yeah, I don't know.
oh, okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's dependent upon the day of the week, we could go.
Average day.
Well, Monday could be anywhere from 300 to 350, and a Saturday it's gonna be anywhere from 500 to 750, maybe 800.
And you said that you're asked daily about when you can have a liquor permit?
Yeah, several of the hotel guests do not realize that Jonesboro is in a dry county, so we have to explain that, you know, at the door.
Of the roughly 350 to 500 customers that you serve per day, how many would you say have actually stopped and said, boy, we wish you could serve alcohol in here?
I don't know, I don't speak to every single guest 14 on 14 shifts, but I would say I have anywhere from 3 to 5 requests
3 to 5 requests per day
on a shift that I work.
on a shift, okay. I will point out that, you know, I don't know too many people who've ever said, I'm not going to Ruby Tuesdays in Jonesboro because they don't serve alcohol. But I can tell you there's going to be a lot who are going to say, I'm not going there anymore because they do.
I understand this,
Okay,
sir.
just so you're, I think that's, like I say, you guys indicate you haven't taken that into consideration very much, and maybe.
It is
may
my
cause a problem.
understanding that may happen.
I have one other quick question. Have any of the hotels provided rooms for the visitors? Have they objected in any way to that?
No, sir.
I have no further questions.
All right, does the board have any other questions
I'm sorry.
before we move on?
One other thing to make clear, it sort of got me a little bit confused. You did say on a weekly basis, up to 3,000 customers.
We can see up to 3,000, depending upon the
Yeah.
time. Yes.
Yeah, I was dealing on a per day basis.
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
he was asking.
Okay, I believe you have another witness.
I'd like to call Jenny Mitchell, please.
Ms. Mitchell, if you join us and identify yourself for the record here, please, as to who you are.
Mr. Chairman, I only have a very few questions.
All right. Ms. Mitchell,
Jenny Mitchell,
What is your occupation?
office manager at Pediatric Services at Johnson.
All right. How long have you resided in this? How long have you been playing in this context?
Probably 8 or 9 years. I'm not exactly sure. I hired him as twice. I just come back to him. And hired him there. Then when he decided to retire, I recommended him to a friend of mine who was in orthopedic practice, and she was hired there. And then when I started working for pediatrics, I knew
Regulations of this commission as well as exceptions.
And that's the reason that I had hired for medical records, because medical records, especially as children, are very sensitive. And I needed somebody that I could trust with that question.
Are you familiar with the location of your two?
Yes, sir.
Rogers Park?
Yes, sir.
Have you been there?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that the location is in an area where the your operation through Tuesday would cause any traffic problems?
No, sir.
Have you ever noticed any traffic
No.
problems in that area? Have you ever noticed any problem with availability of parking at the location?
There's a lot of parking. There's a lot of parking.
Do you believe, in your opinion, as a citizen of Jonesboro, that the granting of the application for the cannabis and to the nonprofit, and considering its nonprofit purposes, would be both would accomplish the hospitality purpose of the city of Jonesboro as well as being the public convenience and interest of the city and the county? I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
All righty, Reverend Jacobs.
I only have one. You indicated that there are no traffic problems in that area at the present time. Do you think if you add the possibility of alcohol service, that might in any way, shape, or form affect the traffic situation?
No, sir.
You don't think there'd be more cars coming and going, or even more traffic?
No, sir. I mean, they might have a few more cars, but where it's located, it would be easily accommodated.
Okay, so you don't think then that the addition of alcohol in a dry county is going to increase the traffic flow to that restaurant all that much?
You do not believe that, Mr. Chairman, you do not believe that the granting this application will cause a traffic problem? I am,
All righty, thank you very much for your testimony. Do you have any other witnesses you wish to
no, Mr. Chairman, I do not.
call? Okay, are y'all finished at this
Yes, Mr.
point?
Chairman, we are.
Okay, then we're going to reverse fields here, as I said, and turn it over to the opposition.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to call Bob Hester at this time.
Like over disclaimer, late last night, up early this morning, hadn't eaten yet, I'm tired.
Sounds like the rest of us, Bob. Go ahead and identify yourself for the record, please.
I'm Bob Hester. I'm Bob Hester.
I don't think he needs any more inspection than that, does he?
None than that.
All right, Bob, you have a number of exhibits there. Would you tell us what you have, and we'll share them?
Yes, I have a letter from an individual, and then a letter from an individual, and a letter from a pastor, and another letter from a pastor. One pastor is the same letter from, he's here, so Pastor Don Montana. And
Bob,
These items that are-
would you wave your hand so they'll know who that is?
Bob, are these already in the record?
this letter here from the pastor, I did see in.
I think I saw that heading
Yeah,
on the
this one
record.
right here, the living word.
Okay.
And, okay, yeah, okay, so y'all don't need that then, I guess, do you?
It's in the record, but we
All right.
don't need to introduce it again.
And so, do you need this one?
Not if they're in the record. If they are introduced into the record, we don't need to
This
duplicate
right
it.
here is not.
Okay,
Pass it down, or?
thank you.
Let me open that disclaimers, and I will be brief. But
All righty, go ahead.
Like the rest of us, and, but I do want to get in whatever. Now, okay, I've got 1,764 petitions here,
How many, Bob?
1,764. These will go to Mr. Lucan, I guess. Y'all want to pass it down?
Yeah, start them over here and we'll end up with Mr. Lucan if you don't have copies of them.
Now, I've got to ask, you got 1,764, and our file says there's 427, is this an addition?
No, but that, I'm glad you brought that, that's including those, that's total. Right.
Okay, so this is a total
This is the total, yes.
Okay.
Um, I think, it looked like their petition numbers were, they were pretty good shape. You didn't see that many
Well, I
others.
saw a few that were outside the Jonesboro area, outside of Frederick County.
If that's the case, then I will, this board right here, sort of move point down, I'll pass that one on. I have, letters from 5 JPs here in Craighead County. And one JP, I don't have his letter, I didn't see it in the file either. He indicated that he did send one, and one should be here, so I don't know what happened, but anyway, that would be 6 if it was here, but that much work. And, what you want me to do with these?
You want those introduced?
If you're gonna want them introduced, we just start them down there with Pat, and then we'll send them this way. Okay?
We're gonna make your letters just one big
Okay,
packet, okay?
One big one, send it. Okay?
Was these signatures collected in the church or what was it?
Probably it was, I would say before, probably primarily, I mean, that's, high and wide, and on the street, when you can do it the easy way.
Sure.
That wouldn't make sense, but, some of them, like, somebody would take one and take it